Okay, so the first thing I look for, first thing I see, first thing I, how I approach, but at the very, very beginning, how is the direction, oh, thank you, of the head? So it's not a head just up and down, she's tilted. Now that seems like, oh, what's the big deal? That's so important. That gives so much character right away. It's this. Now, when, you know, there's so many elements that go into creating a piece of any sort. So it started here when, you know, with this lovely girl, and I told her, you know, the initial things people go, is this good? I'm like, no, 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 no. You, as the artist, have to direct. You have to direct, and you have to infuse your vision with poetry. Okay, and so a slight difference like this, like tilt of the head, immediately. Oh, it's so much. It's charming, you know. And then I said, oh, no, look the other way. Don't look at me. Look the other, you know, look like this. You know, all these things you're constructing something that's charming, appealing, you know, something a little more, even a simple thing. And, you know, just, of course, she's very lovely. So, you know, her gentle smile, all those things. But first thing, back to foundation, the direction. Okay, so this is how I would begin. Okay. Oh, is this an eraser?
Yep.
All right. Okay, here we go. And which direction? Just now, you know, which direction? Hold your pen or your pencil to the place. Oh, yes, everybody. It's not this way. It's not this way. It's a little bit that way. So, start with an oval. Very basic. Look, look what I did. Mistake. I will point at I just, you know, I wasn't, for a second, I wasn't paying attention. I started doing an oval this way. It's absolutely wrong. It's the other way. Pay attention. So, this oval, going the appropriate way. And here's the center. The angle of eyes, how are they going? Going slightly like that. Nose, and a little bit further. Basic thing. So, okay. You just follow, I don't have to, I'll talk later. Okay. So I like to, I've told you before, start with these basic areas. Don't get into details at all, forget about it. If you need to, sometimes I do this. It's nothing, but it's everything. It's already, you're giving information to yourself and to the viewer, what's going on. Okay, here's this, and here's her. This is the middle of her mouth, and so here's the top. That is about her chin. So this area, this is the whole eye socket. So included in here are the eyebrows in this whole space. So here, okay, so here we have on the top of the eyebrows, the top of the ears is basically where it goes. On the bottom of the nose is where the bottom of the ears usually meet. Okay. So then I'm going to look what's going on the top of her head. So it's not a straight on like this. It's her head is tilted and down. So we see the top. So I have to take note of that. So here's her hairline. These are all nice indicators. Look where the hairline is. Something like that. like the hairline. And then I have to start putting in the top of her head and make sure that I've included that. So another good indicator is her part, about how, the distance of the part. So this looks very basic, but you get a feeling right here. Another important thing, put in her, here's the bottom of her ear here, a little camouflage by the ear, but let's say it's somewhere over here. Measure from the bottom of her ear here, where does her neck start? How big is that space? Start measuring smaller and smaller spaces. So first I did a very large space, this big oval. Then I broke it up in half, divided in half, then in half, kind of in half again with the general eye areas. Then I did the nose, okay, then the mouth. Now we're closing in on it. Okay, so here's her ear, here's her like cheek, jaw here, and say here's her ear, neck starts here, about here. And then go to the other side. Where does it move here? Where is it? Important points. Here's the end of her mouth here, this deep thing. From here to the neck, where is that placement? It's close. It's not exactly underneath, but it's a little bit over to the left and down. And how big is this distance? Keep measuring and adjusting. And it doesn't have to be perfect each time, every time you fix it. Don't worry about it. And that's another thing, just a general thing to remember and to calm and comfort yourself, that we're not here to do a masterpiece, we're here to learn, okay? And I approach every painting the same way. Every painting I've been doing for a long time, that this one is the next one I get to learn hopefully something more from. This is not the end of the road. It's just along the journey on the road, because that can also inhibit you and make you tense, like, oh my God, it's got to be perfect, and it's not, and you can totally psych yourself out and leave the room, and you'll just stop. Okay, don't do that to yourself. It's a lesson to learn, that you just keep going. Every time you sit down is another opportunity to improve, to learn something, even a tiny thing. A very wonderful, in my very, very early days in the BBT, one of the artists there, he was older than me, much older than me, older devotee, older person. And he said a lovely thing that it still comforts me today. So this is, it's overwhelming, to do a whole painting. It's going to be published, deadlines. He said, every day you learn a little something, you're pleased with a little something. It could be tiny, a piece of a finger or something, tiny. Your day is a success. Okay, just right away, okay, brought down the terror, the anxiety of pressure that came from outside, but we also do it to ourselves. That it has to be a certain way. So, okay, and that's the wonder and the very nice quality. Why I love oil painting. It can always be fixed. You can really. It takes a while to really mess it up. There is a possibility to okay, it's just too gunky, but it tolerates quite a bit. And what to speak of pencil, and hey, it's so flexible. Okay, here we go. So there's her neck, and then from the ear, where's her shoulder? About here. Which shoulder is higher? Again, place your thing and take note. And the shoulder from that side, the other side, how far is the bottom of the ear to the shoulder? So here's the bottom of the ear. Here's this part, cheek. Then there's the chin, a little shorter, no problem. There's her jaw. You know, I'm developing it. Here's the end of her mouth. It's up a little bit. I think it should be a little less. Here we go. Okay. Very basic, nothing going on right now. Next, now I'm entering in again. So here's her eyebrows. Which one is higher? This one's a little bit higher. Okay, take note. So here's that. Here's her. Now I'm entering into it. Another thing, what is the distance between the beginning of the eyes, these points? They're important points. This to that. What's the distance? You make it to. She happens to have a very lovely face, so you can use that proportion. But sometimes the model, or if you don't even have a model, they don't. There's things to remember that not too close. It's too close, not so attractive. There's like certain, I don't know, laws of beauty or something that that do work. That somehow we're attracted. We have a standard of beauty. So anyway, the eyes you don't want too close. The nose, the distance between the end of the eye here to the nostril to this, they line up, by the way. So let's say here's the point. The nostril is almost right there. They almost do line up. Another thing, if you notice, in all of this, take my structure away. I haven't done 2 lines on the side of her nose, or even 1 line. I haven't indicated anything. I haven't done anything. And already it's taking the form of a face, a recognizable face. Okay, I haven't, and I'm not going to. I'm trying to also approach even the drawing as mass and structure and form, not linear. And I think the tendency towards linear is more readily people go there because they think that's what they see. But actually, these are all forms. The nose is a form, a triangle, basically, on the circle, and these things, these hollows are forms. They're not lines. You know, one thing is going into another. So we're kind of squeezing into this course. You know, there's the transcendental stuff and the color and materials, but I'm trying to squeeze in a anatomy 101 in half an hour here. That please try to see. Okay, I haven't gone around. Okay. You see, I still have kept this stuff. I think I'm just gonna really push it here, and I want you all to do this in this. We have lots of paper, you can do it again. Okay, we're not going for lovely paintings, a lovely drawing. We're going for light and dark and structure. Okay, this has great light and dark. I'm just gonna go for it. This is what it's gonna be, and don't get too caught up. I want you all to do that over your nice drawings that you've already done. Just do this right over everything, and there's plenty of paper. I want you to do this. This is the exercise. And with loose lines, don't worry about the fantastic shading and all that. I just want the basic light and dark. Here's my hair. And it might seem a little like, why do we have to keep doing this stuff? It's really important. Because this is how you see painting as well. How you will solve the problems in the painting. Where's the light? Where's the dark?
Does it matter which direction?
No, I'm just left-handed. Oh, that's where I go. No, it doesn't matter. Okay. I'd like to go around a little bit. You want to turn that off? And they can show me theirs.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah.
Okay.